Welcome to GripeCast with your host, Alex Hernandez. This show is dedicated to consumer technology news and pop culture. GripeCast is owned by Techaeris. Visit Techaeris.com for the latest tech reviews, news, entertainment, and pop culture. Now sit tight, the show is about to begin. All right, guys, we are live. Welcome to GripeCast episode 2. We have been gone for a week, and we're back. And I hope that everybody's had a great week and a blessed week, and hope you guys take care of yourselves in this crazy world we're living in right now. And I hope you're hanging out with family, hanging out with friends, staying off the internet as much as possible, especially social media these days. And I hope that everybody has some sanity in their lives somewhere throughout all this time that, a lot of us are online perpetually. And hopefully you guys can find some time to relax and get your mind off things. Because world sucks. Let's just put it that way. All right. Well, welcome back, guys. Appreciate everybody that's hanging in there with me through these podcasts. And I hope that you're enjoying content that I'm creating, and it's been fun so far, and we're on episode 2 now, and we got a few topics to talk about. I had a few questions regarding the gear that I'm using to record these podcasts, so I figured I'd cover a little bit of that in this show, let you know what gear I'm using to record. As you know, I am recording this for all major podcast platforms, including Spotify, Apple Podcasts, iHeartRadio, YouTube Podcasts, Google Podcasts, although that platform is going to go away into the Google graveyard, as it is. So I record audio and video. I record video for YouTube and for Rumble and for MeWe. So I just do everything in OBS, which is a free open source software that a lot of podcasters and YouTubers use. And it's relatively easy to get a handle on. I enjoyed using it. I've used it before. It's not my first rodeo with OBS. So it works great. And what I do is I record in OBS, and then I extract the MP3 audio for my podcast hosting. And that the audio portion is what obviously you hear in the podcasts, and the video portion is what you get on YouTube and Rumble. So OBS is a software that I use. I'm using the 512 Audio Tempest USB mic for my audio. And then I paired that with the 512 Audio Boom mic stand, which is holding it. Which, if you're watching, you can see right here, the 512 audio mic, and then the boom arms right here. So, both great products. I reviewed them a while back, and I'm using them now again, and they're serving me really well. I enjoy it. I think the audio from this mic is really, really good, and hopefully it's coming through well on your end. And, of course, I do a little bit of adjustments in DaVinci Resolve, which is what I use. I use DaVinci Resolve to edit all this together, and then I extract the MP3 from that, and then split that off MP4, MP3, so you get audio and video. So that's all the software that I use, along with the mic that I use. As for recording the video, and if you're watching online, if you're watching YouTube or Rumble right now, you'll see I have my screen on one side and a small video window of me on the lower left side. And so I'm using OBS to do this, and I'm using the OBSBot Tiny 4K camera, which is right here. I'm pointing to you right there, to record myself. And then obviously OBS is picking up my desktop from within that software. To monitor myself here, I'm using these headphones, which are the Beyerdynamic DT770 Pros, and I'm running through a Mac Mini, And that's about it. It's a basic setup. There's nothing groundbreaking about what I'm using here. It's all pretty basic of what many podcasters and YouTubers use, and the same sort of equipment. Some of them are using more expensive, more complex stuff, but we're just starting out. So this is what I got. But that is the gear I'm using. Hopefully that answers that question. A few people have asked in comments and different social media platforms, curious about what I am implementing to make this podcast possible. Oh, and then we're hosted by Buzzsprout. So we're using Buzzsprout as our hosting platform, which was really easy to set up. They have the software, and their interface allows you to submit your podcast to all the major podcast platforms. Some of them are easier than others. There are some processes you have to go through with some podcast platforms in order to get your podcast listed. So we went through all the rigmarole to get that done, and it's done. So we're listed on all the major platforms now, and of course video on YouTube, Rumble, and MeWe. All right. So that takes care of that gear that I'm using. And I'll leave links in the notes down below in YouTube and Rumble, and in the show notes on the podcast platforms for any of this, for most of this stuff. Hopefully, I think this 512 Audio Tempest mic might be discontinued. I'm not sure. But I'm sure they make more. I'm sure they make other versions, other newer versions of this, which are probably better. Last time I saw this was on sale, I think for like $40 or $50. So it's a good deal right now if you can find it. All right, moving on. Timothy over on MeWe. Hey, buddy. He asked about writing and publishing. I thought I would just kind of touch on that just a little bit. He just kind of wanted to know what it's like to write and publish online. I think that's what the question was. I mean, I love writing. I've written about tech for a very, very long time now. I'm not 40 years in, but 12, 13, 14 years is a good chunk of time to be in this world of writing about tech, and it's changing day by day. Tech is so it's constantly moving that sometimes even those of us that are immersed into it we're behind. I mean, there's things that I haven't experienced yet that is brand new tech that I probably won't experience for another year or however long I get to it. I mean, there's so much to grasp and to know about. And the misconception a lot of people have is that we, as a tech writer, we're immersed in it and we know all the ins and outs. But I mean, we don't. We're human beings too. I'm a human being. I miss things. I can't be on top of every single trend. It's impossible. But I enjoy it. I enjoy what I write about. I do enjoy. So writing about is great. Publishing is another matter. So I do both because I write my articles, and I'm a publisher because I own my own website. So I publish the articles. It's not like writers that you find from The Verge or Engadget. Those guys are writing for a company and a publisher themselves. That they don't own the publishing site, which is Engadget or The Verge. So they're just writers. I do both. So publishing has gotten more difficult, as we spoke about in the very first episode of GripeCast, episode 0, and what we're dealing with Google and being listed and deranked and all this other stuff, all these issues they're having with their algorithm updates and whatnot. So actually today I reached out to, I attempted again. I've reached out to Google in the past. I've found a couple of contacts that I was hoping that would I would be able to get a hold of, but getting a hold of Google is almost impossible. So I'm crossing my fingers, prayers that I can get a hold of someone there, so I can voice my my displeasure in what is happening. A good example is today, and right now I'm on my website here. If you're watching on YouTube, we published the Samsung HWQ990D review, and this review here is Samsung's latest flagship soundbar, and we got to review the soundbar, and I know for a fact that we're one of only a few that had the chance to review this. These soundbars are brand new. The reviews will start coming in a little bit more, but I know Newsweek and AV Forums and Techaeris were three of the top review sites that were able to have these to review. And I got this to review. I spent a week with it, and then I had to send it off to another site. I think it was a Newsweek that ended up getting it after me. And this was before we published. So we were able to get this under embargo and review it. So I know for a fact there's only a handful of reviews that are from review sites that are in existence right now of this soundbar. And when you go to Google and you Google Samsung HWQ990D, AV Forum and Newsweek are both listed in Google, but we are not. You go to DuckDuckGo, and we're listed on the first page. And we go to Bing, and we're listed on the first page. You go to Brave, or you go to any other search engine, and we're not listed for this review, even though we're one of a handful of reviews out there for this device. So obviously, Google's doing some weird things. We've talked about it at length already on both the first and second episode of this podcast. So I'm just addressing it again for publishing, addressing this publishing question from Timothy. So publishing has become a pain for me anyway. I still love the writing, but the publishing and trying to get our content onto Google has been difficult. So, I mean, that's what it is. I really love what I do. I do love writing, and to a certain extent, I still love publishing, but it's become such a headache that I'm frustrated at this point. But it is what it is. All right, on we go. Let's see. I reached out to my MeWe audience for questions or topics, and I didn't get as many suggestions as I did last time. So we're kind of sparse on suggestions, but I did get something from Michael talking about Bluetooth stalking. And I don't know if you guys are all familiar with Bluetooth stalking, but Bluetooth stalking is a new creepy thing that some people are doing by stalking other people with AirTags and Tile tags and Galaxy tags. That's a pretty creepy thing. This is one subject I have not covered on Techaeris yet. But I found an article from PC Mag, and I'll link all this stuff below. But it talks about AirTag and Tile stalking, and it basically says, explains what it is, and the gist of it is, there's creeps out there, creeps all over the world, and Bluetooth tags have become a way for those creeps to track people. So let's say you're in a gym, and there's a guy that's been harassing you, or a girl that's been harassing you, and they slip a AirTag into your backpack or your purse or something, and so they know where you are. They can track you, and that is really crazy. So the way to protect yourself from this is, I mean, if you know you have someone that's tracking you or that wants to stalk you, you're having a problem with, check your belongings before you leave public places. Always make sure you have your stuff around you and within arm's reach where it's not to be tampered with. But if you don't, check your stuff before you exit a gym or a restaurant or wherever you might be. Check for air tags or tile tags physically. I'm talking, you have to go in and look for stuff that might be there. And, that could take time. Hopefully we're not all, at risk of being stalked, but there are certain people that are, targets. So if you think you're a target, you should take precautions, right now, if you're watching, I'm scrolling through this PC Mag article right now. It says to check your bags, luggage, and purses. Take a few minutes to empty the bag and check the pockets each day. Do all that kind of stuff. Check your mail. If you're using a PO box or rental box, open all the mail before going home. That's a tedious process, right? And it's crazy to think that you have to do that because some creep is looking to track you. If you're, in your bike and your cars, they can put these air tags and tile tags in your, somewhere in your car or somewhere in your bike. Check the seat underneath on your bike. Check the fender wells. Check, anywhere that you can slip a tag into. But again, that's really a tedious process. So at the end of this article, at least they kind of explain there's other ways to be able to search for Bluetooth trackers, although mileage may vary. But I'm just going to read out what they say about how to search for Bluetooth trackers. So if you find yourself in a situation that you feel like you're being stalked and you're not sure if there's an air tag or a tile tag or a galaxy tag that has been slipped somewhere, that's tracking you, here are a few ways to be able to search for Bluetooth trackers and be safe. How to search for Bluetooth trackers. So I'll read from PC Mag now. If an AirTag is traveling with an unregistered person, it will begin to chirp. If you own an iPhone with iOS 14.5 or later, you'll also get an alert on your phone. To make sure you get this, first make sure airplane mode is not on. Then go to Settings, Privacy and Security, Location Services, and turn Location Services on. Then go to Settings, Privacy and Security, Location Services, System Services. Turn Find My iPhone on. Go back once again to Settings, Privacy and Security, Location Services, System Services. Turn Significant Locations on to be notified when you arrive at a location like your home or office. Now go to Settings, Bluetooth, and turn Bluetooth on. Open up the Find My app. Tap the Me tab and turn Tracking Notifications on. The AirTag will begin to chirp between 8 and 24 hours after the tracker is separated from its registered user. In our tests, it tends to happen sooner rather than later. If you tap your phone against the AirTag, you'll get its serial number and information on how to disable it. So in other words, once an AirTag has been separated from its user physically, while they're still able to track it, you are able to see it as well after it takes up, he says, between 8 and 24 hours for that to happen. So you can find the AirTag on your own phone if you look for it once it's been physically separated from the registered user. So it goes on to say, if you find an AirTag that doesn't belong to you and you don't own an iPhone, you can tap it against any phone's NFC reader to get the serial number and instructions on how to disable it. It's important to keep track of the serial number since Apple works with law enforcement around the world to assist in cyberstalking cases. And that's important. If you feel like you're being stalked, and you find an AirTag or a tile tag or any other Bluetooth tracker, make sure you get the serial number, because that serial number should be registered to the initial registered user. And if you go to law enforcement, you have a good chance of finding this person and getting them arrested. The article goes on to say Apple also has a Tracker Detect app in the Google Play Store that allows you to manually search for AirTags using Android phones. One thing to be aware of, though, is that it will not issue a push alert and scans have to be initiated manually. For Tile devices, there is the Tile Scan and Secure feature on the Tile app. You can download and use the app without having a Tile tracker. It takes 10 minutes to run and requires you to move around for an unspecified distance. The Tile app will show you an image of the type of device it finds and a reference ID for it. The Samsung SmartThings app has an unknown tag search for the Galaxy Smart Tag, but it takes 24 hours of the tag being separated from the owner to work. Android users can use AirGuard to detect most smart trackers. And then the article goes on to say how to disable the Bluetooth trackers and gives you ideas. You find a tracker with a non-removable battery. You can open the AirTag and take the battery out. If one has a non-removable battery, submerge it in water and take it to local authorities. So there's ways to disable them that are physical as well. I will link PC Mag's article down here, but thanks, Michael, for throwing in that idea about talking about Bluetooth stalking. It's a pretty creepy practice and something that I hope that everybody stays safe and takes care of themselves. If you got a stalker, this is something you should be worried about and something that you should protect yourself against. All right, moving on. Let's see. Those are the only two real suggestions I had from my MeWe audience this week. So thanks to Michael and Timothy for those. And I decided to cover something that I thought was pretty silly. I woke up the other morning to the news of a new Popeye the Sailor Man live action movie being made. It's in development, they say. Company called Sherman Entertainment. Popeye the Sailor Man was one of my favorite cartoon characters. I'm reading now from Techaeris, article that I wrote. Popeye the Sailor Man was one of my favorite cartoons growing up as a kid in the late 70s and 80s. Even back then, the character was old, since it was created in the 20s, but had been repurposed and enhanced through the magic of technology. The magic of technology, quote. Now, Sherman Entertainment is using the magic of 21st century technology to resurrect the iconic character once again. This time, the spinach-eating muscle man is to be featured in a live-action movie. But this isn't the first time Popeye the Sailor Man was done live action. Robin Williams portrayed the character in the 1980 movie Popeye. That film was not well received and is still generally thought of as a flop, at least by normal fans. Williams should have left the character as part of his comedy routines and nothing more. It was far more effective in his routines than it was in a movie. But Variety says, but here we are again. According to Variety, the project is currently in development as a big budget feature and has attached screenwriter Michael Caleo. Variety goes on to say that the original Popeye movie with Robin Williams, as I said earlier, and Shelley Duvall, has gained cult status and critical reconsideration. Critical reconsideration, they say. Critical reconsideration. Yes, no. I'm going to say no to that. The movie still sucks. I mean, it was 1980. What are you going to do? It was a hokey movie, not very well made. I wouldn't rewatch it again. It's not something that I enjoyed. Anyway, it goes on to say, I go on to the articles talking about how there's been rumors that Dwayne Johnson might be the next Popeye, which I would absolutely hate. I like Dwayne Johnson. I like some of his movies. He's made a few good films, but at this point, I am Dwayne Johnsoned out. It's time for Dwayne Johnson to stop being in every action movie that there is to be made. Him and John Cena. I bet I had enough. But at any rate, I know that Luke over on MeWe had made mention that he thought that Dwayne Johnson would make a good Brutus. Maybe not. I don't know. At this point, I'm just tired of remakes. I don't know about you guys. Comment below. Let me know what you think about Popeye the Sailor Man being remade. It's not something I'm ready for or even want. So, anyway, that's that. Popeye the Sailor Man, and also the Never-Ending Story I heard was supposed to be getting a remake, which is again a no from me. I'll say no thanks. Moving on. All right. I want to touch back on the subject of publishing. Timothy, I had thought about what I wanted to talk about with writing and publishing at the start of the show here, and that was a question that Timothy had. And one of the things that came back to my mind was something called pagination and paginated pages. And what most of you guys don't understand about publishing is there's a lot of layers. A lot of layers that go into publishing, creating your own website. And again, it depends on what your website is about, what you're trying to do, what you're trying to accomplish. But for sites like mine, like Techaeris, sites like Engadget, sites like The Verge, sites like Newsweek, sites like Digital Trends, we're publishing articles that are meant to be helpful, informative, reviews especially, and that is our product, and our content is our product. We don't sell anything on our website. I don't have a store, a shop. I have no checkouts. I don't take that data from people. I don't get credit card numbers or anything like that. So we're strictly operate on ad revenue and licensing revenue. But one of the things I had thought about regarding publishing is this pagination and paginated pages, and a company called Comscore. I had written about Comscore a while back in an article that I wrote when we were having traffic difficulties back then. Google's algorithm updates tend to affect you negatively when they happen. This year has been the worst. I mean, we've been hit hard this year, and I talked about that already on previous episodes. But really quick, I just wanted to kind of inform you guys about Comscore and what they do. And a lot of large publishers are part of this Comscore ecosystem in which websites sign up for Comscore. Comscore is a data analytics firm, and they track traffic and data and store all that kind of stuff. And they not only work with websites, but they work with TV studios and movies, and they're a pretty big analytics data driven company. And one of the rules Google has in place is you can't buy traffic. Okay, I can't go and buy 100,000 clicks, which essentially are bots. And people sell these. There's such a thing as bot traffic, and you can go online and find people that will write a program that will give your website clicks, and that's all bot traffic. So Google has triggers in place to be able to see these things. So if you use bot traffic, they're going to know, they're going to de-rank you, they're going to penalize you. So just don't do it. But what Comscore does, at least in my estimation, is amounts to the same thing as bot traffic, but it's done legally, and legally, not in the sense of law, like written law, but legally in the terms of Google. So Google is okay with the behavior that Comscore does, and they are it's sanctioned, I guess, is another word to put, another way to put it, is that it's okay for you to use Comscore to pad your traffic and your clicks, but it's not okay to go another route to buy bot traffic clicks. And so the argument would probably be that Comscore are real clicks. So what happens is, if you're familiar with some websites that you'll click on, say you're on Facebook and you see, a post that says Brad Pitt's 20 favorite breakfasts, and you click on it. And so you open up the page, and there it says, Brad Pitt's 20 favorite breakfasts. And these are Brad Pitt's favorite breakfasts to have every day, he spreads them out. These are the 20 best breakfasts that he enjoys. And a lot of people are interested in that. So what they do is they'll have one page and it'll say, bacon and eggs. This is one of his favorite breakfasts. And then there'll be a next button. And you click that, but you won't be able to see, you won't be able to see number 2, number 3, number 4 until you click the next button, and that takes you to another page. So that's what Paginated or Pagination is. It's when you take one web article and you divide it into several different pages, amounting to a click per page. So one user is usually, Google count for one of my reviews, if you go in and you click on my review, Google will count that as one click. And if you leave, exit out your browser, come back that next day, 4 hours later, and click again and go back into the review, you're not counted as a click. Your IP address has been recorded. All that information's been recorded. So you're just revisiting, but you're not a fresh click. So you're not counted as a click. It's not traffic at that point. But with paginated pages, you can get one user in on one article to click 20 times, and there you have 20 clicks from one person. So if that person clicks through every one of those breakfast samples from Brad Pitt, they've just scored 20 clicks. So these websites exist to farm clicks, and these are real clicks, yes. So what they do is that they register with Comscore, and they get a TAL number, a traffic assignment, letter, TAL letter, a traffic assignment letter. And each, you can go through an inventory of TALs and see what they're selling. So this website has, just did this article for the breakfast of Brad Pitt, and they received 100,000 clicks just for that one article. Well, now they can list those clicks, or some of those clicks, 50,000 of them, list them on Comscore as a sellable, that we're willing to sell this traffic to another website. So along comes, major media website that, is a little bit behind on clicks this month. And in order to be attractive to advertisers, advertisers want them to have, let's say, 100,000 clicks, but they're 10,000 clicks short of 100,000. So now all they have to do is go to Comscore and purchase clicks from that TAL number letter, and that traffic gets assigned to that website now. So they didn't earn those clicks; they bought them. Yes, they were organic and they were real people; they weren't bots, but that was purchased. So Google's okay with this, and it's still, and that's the game that's played. And we are not part of Comscore. We don't. I've never purchased Comscore traffic. There was one time, way back early in the website's history, that I went in to look to buy traffic at one point because I was really frustrated and I wanted to see what we could do with that, and that didn't work out well, and I canceled that order pretty quickly. So since then, that was maybe 9 years ago. It was really, really early in the site. Since then, we've it's always been organic traffic, and we don't use anything to try to make things. We don't try to game the system, but I feel like Comscore is one way that a lot of websites are gaming the system, although it's a approved way to game the system by Google. So anyway, I'm rambling now and ranting. I mean, that's what this is about, right? GripeCast. I'm here to gripe about stuff. So, but I just wanted you guys to know more about Comscore and how things operate as publishers, and some of my frustrations. And hopefully, some of you are interested in this, and hopefully it opens up some understanding of what I deal with and what we have to do as publishers. So that's it. Yeah. We're heading in now already on 35 minutes in this podcast, and we're going to wrap her up. I appreciate you guys listening. We will have some MeWe exclusive content coming on over to MeWe. If you want to catch that, make sure you head over to MeWe.com and sign up for an account for, it's like any other social media platform like X and Facebook. You'll need an account to see the content, but it's only a matter of a quick sign up. So if you want to see the MeWe exclusive content, make sure you sign up for MeWe. Look for our page at Techaeris on MeWe, and you can go on over there and see the rest of the show and catch what we have to say there. But I will let you guys go now. You guys have a great weekend coming up. Have a blessed weekend. Spend time with your families. Hug someone you love. And we will talk to you guys on the other side.